Tonight. I'm glad that you and your family are out and safe and be well tonight. Sir, thank you for checking in. Scott Hennessy and CJ Ward are with you here on Fox 11 as well as News Channel 3. We will also be on KCOY 12 here momentarily. We have been with you live continuously since just after 9 o'clock tonight, about 15-20 minutes after this fire was first reported on Holiday Hill Road. Get some new information, CJ?
Well, yeah, we've had people apparently calling in asking about the Wildlife Care Network, and you can see it there on the map.
Yeah.
If you pull it up on your Waze map, you'll see it. We don't know anything about it yet. We will ask, though, as soon as we talk to maybe Dave Zanaboni. There are a lot of questions we have for Dave the next time we talk to him. That will be one of them.
Yeah, you can see it there. It's a landmark just north of Holiday Hill Road. So people are rightly concerned about it, but as soon as we get information about it, we'll share it with you.
And it seems to be, at least by looking at the map, it seems to be right in that danger zone, if you will.
Yeah.
But again, we have not heard any reports on that facility. And that's located at 1460 North Fairview.
Right.
But we will ask. I'm going to set this note here. I'm going to put a star next to it. And when we do talk to a fire official who may have some information, we'll ask about it.
Okay. More aerial views here as the helicopter is back up from our Los Angeles affiliate as we are seeing flames in various areas here. North Fairview Avenue.
Yeah, it is just so. The terrain is just so difficult. You can see how the smoke is just pushing sideways. Mm-hmm. That just gives you a sense of how strong the winds are. You see the flames laying down. They're not going up. They're going sideways. Right there's a really good shot of it. See how the flame just pushes. Those are flames pushing toward the ocean. So it's coming off the foothills to the right, and the wind is hitting it. That's a home that's on fire.
It is.
And you just see that smoke pushing, and it's running flat, almost parallel to the ground. Those are some pretty strong winds right there. And that is what firefighters are dealing with. When you see something like that, they can't save a structure. It's basically back up.
Yeah, it's dangerous.
Dangerous. Back up, do some kind of defensive measures, make sure people are out of there, move to the next block. And you're just not going to see anybody putting a hose on a house like that, or even homes next to it, right, because there's just nothing they can do at this point with those kinds of winds and that kind of fire.
And when you hear Kelly Hoover from the Sheriff's Department speaking with us earlier saying everyone from the Sheriff's Department, regardless of their unit, was being called in to tell people to evacuate, and it was an urgent situation, when you see what you see on your screen there, that's the reason why, because it can happen just that quickly.
Oh, yeah, very quickly. Yeah, and the other thing is we talk about these fires. People think that a fire that's burning out in a field or in up in the foothills, and you hear about spotting. Yeah. Where flames kind of hopscotch. An ember is carried about a half a mile and starts a whole new fire, and the fire moves almost at 3 times the rate. But the same thing can happen in a residential area. Mm-hmm. It can move from rooftop to rooftop. It can hit a tree and then spread to 2 homes beneath it. And the rate of flame can be just as quick in a residential area as it can be up in the foothills where you've got 60-year growth.
Right.
So and some people, it's a hard thing for some people to wrap their head around, but a home is fuel.
Right, and certainly trees that are around homes can catch, and then the wind blows, and then it can catch the home. And we've heard this is a wind-driven fire going straight downhill, straight from the northern reaches of Fairview Avenue, straight down toward the ocean. And the line that has been set for evacuation areas is everything north of Cathedral Oaks Road, as we see this home has gone up.
And it's so sad to see it again. Is. Thomas Fire, I know we talked about it. It was 8 months ago. It doesn't seem like 8 months ago.
No.
But I can't believe we're sitting here looking at more homes on fire. We talked a lot about during the Thomas Fire, but we live in some of the worst fire country anywhere in the world.
Yes.
Firefighters from around the world come here to train because the terrain is so bad. The weather conditions under conditions like this are the worst in the world. And this is why we see these over and over again.
We want to welcome our viewers who are joining us on KCOY 12 Central Coast News. Scott Hennessy and CJ Ward are with you here covering a major fire in Goleta, the holiday fire. It started at 8:40 tonight, and we're looking at an aerial picture here in the Fairview area of a home that is engulfed in flames, and there are multiple structures on fire tonight. We don't have an exact count. Everyone who is out there on the scene is trying to get where they need to be to try to protect structures. They are in structure protection mode, and they have been for the last 2 hours.
Well, we have seen several homes burning over the last hour or so. We don't know the location of this home, and there you see the home starting to collapse there. Let's throw it back out to Casey Drescher. Casey, where exactly are you? It sounds like you're with Dave Zanaboni.
Yes, I am here. I am here with Dave Zanaboni. We are still holding steady here at the corner of Fairview and La Goleta, and we do have an update as far as structures lost, correct?
Well, it's not an official update, but I think the estimate right now is probably, at least 20 structures have been lost so far, all on this North Fairview corridor and the streets that go off of it.
And I understand there's some updates to the evacuations.
Yes, the new evacuation boundaries are from La Patera to the west to Patterson Ave, and that's everything north of Cathedral Oaks. So north of Cathedral Oaks between La Patera and Patterson, and those are all mandatory evacuations. So people, if people are still in those areas, they really do need to get out.
I just saw a steady stream of engines come down this road, this La Goleta road. Yeah. Why was that? What's going on?
Well, we're just getting a lot of equipment back arriving on scene. We, when the initial units first arrived, the initial battalion chief, he immediately ordered 5 strike teams, which is 25 engines. So we're starting to see them come in. We've actually added to that order. So right now, I think the rough estimate is we have about 100, maybe 120 firefighters on scene, with many more still filtering in throughout the evening.
Do we have any rough estimates as far as acreage and containment?
I don't have an acreage. I just don't have an acreage yet. It's just been too hard to get out there and try to map it and walk it. I think we have a helicopter in the air right now with some night vision, and so he'll probably be able to help us out with a little bit of an estimate on some acreage. I could be able to get that later on.
And I did talk to some concerned community members. They mentioned something about horses, about animals. What can we discuss about that?
Well, there's a lot of livestock up here. I've seen a lot of horses, goats, everything that goes with it being evacuated out of there. I just saw a whole caravan of horse trailers going up when I was coming back down Fairview. So there's obviously probably some horses up in that area. So people are, working on that. Normally people with livestock and, with that type of responsibility, they're usually pretty good about getting out early. So, this fire started fast, and, with the wind the way it was blowing and the way it's still blowing, it's just, it was a very fast moving fire. So, hopefully those animals are safe up there and they're going to be able to get them out.
All right, my last question for folks at home watching you right now, what do you want them to know? I think the biggest message out there is if you're in these evacuation areas, you really do need to get out. This is a very out of control fire. It's a wind-driven fire. This wind is predicted to blow like this throughout the night into tomorrow morning. And, this fire is far from going out. There's, like I said, we've got probably at least 20 structures that have already burned. And there's just this whole area is it's so dense with vegetation, with homes that are scattered throughout it. It's very hard to get in there and protect all of them. And so I think the biggest message is if you're in these evacuation areas, if you're anywhere north of Cathedral Oaks in those areas, you really do need to get out. Let firefighters get in there and do their job. And real quick, while I've got you, I want to know, CJ and I were trying to figure this out. I know that a lot of the damage is concentrated here along Fairview, but could you give us an idea of maybe verifying that for us as far as kind of east-west off of Fairview, what we're dealing with?
Yeah, well, the fires,
the majority of the fire is just kind of coming down this Fairview corridor. It's burning more to the east than it is to the west. That's because our wind is coming out of the northwest. So it's, like I said earlier, it's a wind-driven fire, so it's just pushing that fire kind of down Fairview and to the east, meaning towards Patterson, if you will.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much for that updated information. Obviously, he will be out here most of the evening, as will we, but at least 20 structures lost, and several more, I'm sure, in jeopardy. And like he said, that wind moving east toward Patterson. If you're in one of those evacuation zones, please get out. The ash, the smoke is very thick, and the wind is not letting up. I'm going to send it back to you in the studio and continue to get you updated information.
Casey, before you go, if Dave is still there, can you ask him, as we've been promising to ask about this, but people have been calling the newsroom asking about the Wildlife Care Network. It's up near where the fire started. Is he still there?
Sorry,
can you ask him?
Can you repeat that, CJ?
We're trying to find out.
Dave, can you hold on for a second? CJ's asking me a question. I'm sorry. CJ, can you repeat it for me?
Yeah, we're trying to get an update on the Wildlife Care Network. It's up near where the fire started. Has he heard anything about that?
An update on the Wildlife
Care Network.
The Wildlife Care Network.
Oh, I don't know.
We don't know.
Yeah,
Okay.
I don't know as far as whether they're out here and assisting. I couldn't answer that question. The Office of Emergency Management will have the answers to those. And they'll also have the answers, which I don't have that information yet. I'll get it shortly. But they'll have the information for evacuation centers, not only for residents, for people, but also for the large animals. It's usually, the large animals are usually set up at Earl Warren Showgrounds if they can accommodate, if they don't have an event or something going. But I think, you know, I think if the station can get a hold of the Office of Emergency Management and maybe track that information down, that'd be some good info to get out.
For sure. All right. Thank you so much for that. So yeah, Offices of Emergency Management will have the information we're looking for on that, CJ.
All right, Casey, thank you very much. A place that evacuees can go is the Goleta Valley Community Center, 5679 Hollister Road, Earl Warren Showgrounds for large animals. The question CJ was getting at, the Santa Barbara Wildlife Care Network is just north of the origin of this fire, which was Holiday Hill Road. People are concerned about that particular facility,
exactly,
which we don't know if it has sustained damage here or not, but we certainly know that there is a large number of wildlife there that had to be evacuated.
And we'll keep asking, and we'll keep calling. Let's throw it out to Kelly Hoover. Kelly, you're on the phone. Kelly's with Santa Barbara County Sheriff's Office. Hi, thank you for calling in again. What can you tell us at this point?
Well, you obviously heard from Captain Zanaboni that the area has been expanded, the evacuation area, to west of Patterson, east of La Patera, north of Cathedral Oaks. So I echo what Captain Zanaboni said. If you're in this area, you should not leave immediately. This is a community that I live close to, so there are many of my friends who are evacuating and finding places to go. And if you know somebody in this area, please open your home to them. This is obviously a very stressful time. We're talking about hundreds of homes. This is an established community that we sent 1,200 contacts out asking people to evacuate. So we're talking about a lot of residents who, at a moment's notice, have had to figure out quickly that they need to leave, and it's definitely very unsettling.
And I would imagine you probably have deputies out right now knocking on doors now that you've expanded it more to the west. Are they going door to door out in those neighborhoods trying to get people out as well?
Yes, there is a concerted effort right now. We have not only our patrol deputies who are handling other calls for service as well, who are very busy, but we've brought in our special enforcement team, our criminal investigation division team, special investigations bureau. So detectives who this isn't their normal time to work. They are all coming in to help get people out of harm's way. We have our search and rescue team, of course, who have always been there for us throughout all of these different emergencies. And we have our partners at the City of Santa Barbara Police Department who have come in, our partners at California Highway Patrol. Everyone's really working together right now to make sure that people are evacuating safely. We do have a couple of cases we've heard of where people are refusing to leave. We obviously don't want to see that, and we ask that everybody leave that's in that area.
All right, Kelly, thank you very much for being with us here. 120 firefighters on scene, law enforcement out there trying to get everyone out. If you're home watching, you see this, you're in the area, please, for your own safety, please get out. There is no control on this fire right now. They are in structure protection. The hardest hit area, we just heard from Dave Zanaboni, is really that North Fairview Avenue corridor. Down from the Holiday Hill Road where this fire originated about 8:40 tonight. And the boundaries have been extended for evacuations. La Patera is now the western boundary of this fire, and Patterson to the east.
Actually, if we can, I don't know if there's a way to pull it up on the map real fast. I know, are we looking, is this a different home that we are seeing, or is this the one we were looking at earlier? I mean, just sad that we're seeing so many homes go up in flames. It is the same one, okay.
Yeah, there's another
one right
which
there.
Is very similar. These larger homes that you see up there with a lot of land north of Cathedral Oaks Road.
Yeah,
and
there's a good perspective of just how far it's burned.
It is.
Yeah. So that would be up to the upper right-hand corner of your screen. That would be the Holiday Hill, and then it just runs to the left all the way down Fairview.
So we're looking at it here from kind of an east-west perspective because the helicopter is coming up from the side, but you know, really we're going to think of it as more of an up-down scenario when you're driving your car. That's the way you're going to look at it, is it runs away from the ocean and up the mountain.
Yeah, if you were driving to the right, up the hill, that's taking you up toward Holiday Hill.
Yes.
And to the left would take you down toward Cathedral Oaks and then down toward the city.
Right.
So if you're trying to figure out what direction you're looking, right now you're more looking straight to the north almost.
Yes.
So that'd be the perspective of the helicopter.
So La Galita Road is where Casey was set up, speaking with Dave Zanaboni a few moments ago, and that is a very long block north of Cathedral Oaks Road, and then you have to go up a fair distance to get up to Holiday Hill Road, which is on the right of the screen that we're looking at now, and we see other structures on the left of your screen, other homes that are currently burning.
If we can, since we were just talking about expanded evacuation zones, if we can pull up the map just real fast, and I'll do this quickly so we can go back to the live picture, but if we can show the boundaries on the map here, actually to the other map, if you can see the iPad Pro that I've got set up. So right here is La Patera. Comes all the way down like that. This would be the western boundary of the new evacuation area. Yeah. And then you're going to follow Cathedral Oaks Road all the way across over to Patterson, and then we're going to follow Patterson up. And this is, so that right there gives you a sense of the mandatory evacuation zone that's in place right now.
Right.
And the most active area, this is where the fire started up in this area.
Right.
And where we're seeing probably most of the fire activity would be all in this area right there.
Yes.
In this area right here, we've been seeing live shots from here looking up toward the mountain. So that gives you a sense of what we've been looking at over the last hour or so. From what Dave Zanaboni told us, we've been worried about this area over here, but it doesn't sound like it's reached that far.
Right.
According to Dave, if I can back this up a little bit like this, the winds are coming out of this direction.
Yes, the northwest winds.
Kind of like that, so it's pushing it.
Pushing it a bit
right
to the
off the
east.
mountains, exactly.
Yeah.
And that's, but here's the thing, I mean, even though they expanded this side of the boundary, it wouldn't take long to actually have those winds switch and have it go in this direction.
Right.
And that's what they're waiting for.
Right. Right. So yes, it did sound a little counterintuitive to hear the fire is blowing in that direction, but we're expanding the boundary in that direction. Look, as you say, the winds can switch.
All right. All right. And since I'm on an iPad Pro, people are starting to see the text messages I'm getting from everybody.
Sure.
So, Laura, I will get in touch with you soon.
I think we should go to Jason here and
let's go to Jason.
Get a look at our weather conditions out there as we continue to see these startling pictures of the fire in Galita. Jason?
Yeah, unfortunately, it's not improving. I want to show you different weather observations from the San Ynez Range. First of all, well to the west of where the holiday fire is at Gaviota. it's still 100 degrees. The wind north-northwest at 14 miles an hour, gusting to 25, humidity a dangerously low 13%. Closer to where the fire is, a little bit to the north-northeast.